Hi, I'm Rebecca and this is my vlog about knitting. My throat is kind of froggy, but I'm not really sick. Well, other people in my house are really sick and I am not yet really sick. I don't think I'm gonna get really sick. I think that I'm gonna be okay. This is my vlog about knitting. I have 5 kids, 2 dogs, we're gonna go with that, and 1 boyfriend. And we live in Silverdale, Washington. Yeah, that's me. I haven't been on here for, what is it, like 2 days, 3 days? To be honest with you, I just didn't feel like looking at myself. I just didn't feel like doing that. I have a lot of, like, I think I talked about it, like I feel like I'm failing at everything. I still do. I feel like I'm, like, I know I haven't got to all the YouTube comments. I know that I haven't done that. I have read them. The thing is that with the YouTube comments is that I just really want to give people thoughtful replies, and so I see the comments, and if I love it, then it will disappear. And so I'm like, okay, I need to make sure that that person gets the thoughtful reply that they deserve. And then I just get behind and I get behind, and then I'm like, well, I can't make a video because I haven't responded to everything. And I know people are probably gonna say something like, oh, it's okay, but it's not okay. It's not okay. And so I haven't been knitting. That's been another thing. I just haven't really, I don't have any way to account for the time that has passed, except I did clean my fridge and my counters, which is a whole other thing. But right now I am trying to, we have fruit flies because we buy the kids a lot of fruit. And so we were having fruit flies, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get everything. So it's like sterilize the whole place. Like you could perform a surgery in my sink on a cat. And it would be fine because I cannot deal with bugs. I cannot deal with bugs. So I think that we're actually over the hump. I saw like 2 today, and I'm gonna put out the apple cider vinegar because we've been doing that too. It's been working. Anyway, 2 minutes in and I'm talking about my bugs, and this is a vlog about knitting. Okay, so that's my shellography. It's my star flag. I didn't realize I tossed it over there. Okay, so last time I talked to you, I had done this brim of this hat. Was that Saturday? And I was like, yeah, I've been making these snap hats. Well, I ended up just making the hat that day, finishing up the rest of it. This is yarn, but I added some lavender mohair into it after I did the brim. This hat is so warm, and I know that I don't like mohair hats. I've talked about it. I stand by that. I totally don't think that mohair hats are great for people who have really tangly hair. I don't. However, sometimes people with really tangly hair, like myself, get cold and they need a hat. So I did this purple and yellow thing. I was really afraid it was gonna look like barf, but nobody barfs lavender, right? So it's fine. I think so. I think it's really cute. And this looks really cute on. I would put it on, but my hair would be all messy. So this is the Snap Hat by Tin Can Knits. I did not like switch out yarn the whole time, and so instead of, the pattern calls for it to be worn like this, when you like gradiate, is that a word? Yarns all the way up, you're supposed to wear it on this way, but since I didn't do that, I'm perfectly happy with it being on the knit side, and so that's what I have been wearing out to the bus stop for the kids because it is cold outside. And they have a bunch, I think I've made like 8 of these. So then I finished this hat, and then we turned on another Christmas movie, and I sat and I knit another one. Here's another one. I actually did do the whole like gradiate, is that a word? I don't think it is. Just switching out yarns, but what happened was I was just going to reach into my bag of scraps and make the ugliest hat in the world. That was my plan. Just whatever I pulled out was going to be what happened. And it started with this, right? This kind of color. And then it went into this, and it started to remind me of the colorway Gossip from Hedgehog Fibers. And so I just kind of kept with that theme, like with the dark pinks and then the little peaks of blues and yellows and pinks and, I don't know, orange. There's some orange in here. I thought it was so cute. So I just did that. And even though I kept changing the yarn, you can kind of see that I did, once again, I decided not to have it on this side. And I mean, it doesn't really matter. You can do whatever you want, obviously, but when you weave in the ends, you have to pick a side. Unless you have a magic way to weave in ends that I don't know about that makes them invisible. So this one is this side. And I'm showing you, my daughter keeps wanting to wear this to school. And I keep telling her, no, I'm gonna vlog and you can't wear it. And then I didn't vlog and then I feel guilty, which is just another way that I am failing. My daughter, she is my other daughter. She's 16 years old and she woke up today so sick. And so she had an orthodontist appointment today. So I had to call the orthodontist and be like, hey, my daughter's really sick. She can't come in. There's no way. And they have a $75 fee for canceling without 24 hours notice. So I was so scared they were going to charge me. They did not. She was super nice about it. And she's like, let's reschedule them for this date. And I'm like, fantastic. And she's like, let's just schedule her brother in for that same day. And I was like, cool, because they go to the same place and they always go at the same time. So I did that and I went to go put it in my calendar and I realized she has a doctor appointment that same day, like an hour after that. And we're definitely not going to be out of there within an hour. It takes forever. So now I have to call the orthodontist back and be like, I don't know how to schedule things. I have no control over my life. And that really sucks because Thanksgiving is coming up and I know that they're really busy and the kids have to get in for their orthodontic work. And that's how that works. So I'm really nervous about having to call back and do that. I hate making phone calls and I especially hate making phone calls when I'm the problem. Maybe you guys can relate to that. I don't know. It doesn't bother me so much if they're the problem. Like if I'm like, hey, you scheduled me for this date and that's wrong, that's fine. But when I'm the issue, I just called and rescheduled something and now I have to call and reschedule again. It makes me feel like garbage. So that's where I'm at. I haven't knit. I knit those two hats and I knit those two hats the last day that I did this vlog and I haven't knit since. I have been on Ravelry trying to find my Advent projects too. I like to make Advent projects that no one else is doing. I like to look at things and patterns and then reimagine them in a way that would involve mini skeins. And so that's challenging because sometimes things aren't made for mini skeins and and I'll have to enlarge the pattern and like count the sections and be like, okay, how many are there? Are there 24? Is there 22? Can I make this work somehow? And so that actually takes a long time, but I did want to show you guys an Advent that I haven't shown you before that I did a year and a half ago because Hannah Made It had a summer Advent and I picked this pattern. So let me talk about that and I do want to mention something else here. So this is called the Stripes Ahoy sweater. I have not finished this. So what I did was I used this, oh my gosh, I used this charcoal color Madeline Tosh Pavement, but it's in the holographic glitter. Oh, you can see it. It's in the holographic glitter. So I got two of these, Tosh Merino Light Hollow Glitter, right? I got these and then I knit this sweater. The neon stripe is for funsies. No other reason, for funsies. This is called Stripes Ahoy. I will link it in the down bar. And it needs ribbing. It's kind of long now. But when I started this Advent, I did not know that it was gonna be like patterned, like pink, green, pink, blue, pink, green, pink, blue. I didn't know that. In a gradient. I had no idea. I just went for it. And it worked out. And I picked the charcoal because I was like, well, charcoal gray is not a very summertime color because that's something you have to think about when you're planning your Advents is what main color is going to go with this? Like, what's the theme? What is this probably going to look like? What color should I use? Because I like to go in blind into Advents as far as like just doing the project every day. I know a lot of people like to open it up and then either keep them forever or plan a project later. I want to open it up and I want to knit on it and I want to be ready for the next day. And so that was what I did. This has this cute, what's the shoulders called? Saddle shoulders? Where you like knit the shoulders first and then you kind of like knit outward from them. I don't know. But so here's the problem I have with my sweater is that I did not keep these actually. Like one got really tangled and I was like, well, that really sucks. And then like my dog ate one and I was like, well, that's a bummer. And so I just gave up and I was like, well, I guess I'll just put them in other projects. So I did do that. So I don't have any of these colors left because the sweater calls for stripes. Stripes Ahoy. It's like nautical themed in the original pattern, but it still is the stripes. So my plan is to either just call it a day and make it short sleeved and like use like the charcoal for the ribbing, or I might just use charcoal and like just make solid sleeves and be like, here's my sweater. It's cute. I'm gonna wear it anyway. So I'm trying to find a pattern that will let me use mini skeins where I can use all 24. This is 24, but this is a 25th one. Okay, so what can I make? 24. So if you are the kind of person who is like, but I need to know what main color I can use, I have had actually excellent luck with just messaging the dyer and saying, hey, I want to put this in a project. What would be a good main color? Could I use like a neutral, like white, gray, black? What would be the color that won't, is there a color that won't go with any of the other minis where they'll blend together? And so I've had a lot of luck with that lately. I think the last 4 or 5 the last 4 or 5 advents that I've gotten, I've just messaged the designer and asked that question. And obviously I'm also like, it's okay if you don't want to tell me, it's a surprise, I totally understand, but just trying to plan my projects over here. So one of my advents, I need a neutral, like a cream color, and the other one, I need like a black, which I'm actually really excited about. So I have to figure out what I'm gonna do for those. I have like a list on Ravelry, like the Remember and Compare, of maybe 15 things, but nothing is really standing out. It's hard because I don't want to hold it together with something because I want it to like each color to shine on its own, like so you can actually see what's happened. And that doesn't necessarily mean stripes, but I want every color to be like its own show, right? Like its own thing. And I don't want it to get lost in a sea of marling or something. So I'm very particular about my advents, apparently. I have a lot of feelings. They're my favorite thing in the whole world, but I have been looking on Ravelry and it's been stressful. So that's what I'm up to, I guess. Knitting and looking on, not really knitting. Looking on Ravelry, and cleaning. Nothing's been happening. Everybody's sick. Everybody is sick. I have my 16-year-old daughter's home today. My 13-year-old son was home yesterday. My other kids were home last week. I had to cancel their dentist appointments for Thursday. I just, everybody's sick and it's so annoying because I just want to be by myself. Which is really a mean thing to say now that I think of it, because honestly I should be more concerned for their health, but I'm really not because it's just a cold. I've had colds. They're fine. Nobody was fawning over me when I had colds, so you know, they're kids. They're gonna be fine. It's not a big deal. Just take some medicine, you'll be okay. Wow, I'm the worst mom in the world. I'm not very like empathetic as a mom at all to minor illnesses. Like, I don't believe in making a big deal out of things, right? Like when your kids are little and they fall and scrape their knee, if you flip out, they're just gonna cry too, right? They're just gonna flip out also. But if they fall and scrape their knee and you're like, okay, guess we're gonna get a Band-Aid. No, it's not a big deal. So I keep waiting to see if she's gonna come downstairs. Anyway, I'm just not very nice, I guess. Not overly motherly. I don't know if you've ever gotten that vibe from me, but it's not really my thing. So they're fine. It's cold. It's okay. It's not COVID. We've tested COVID 3 times, I think, since this has been going through our house, because it's, if you Google like COVID November 2022, it's all the symptoms that they have: the sore throat, the headache, you know, coughing, the sneezing, all of that. But we've tested 3 times. It's just a cold. So what are you gonna do? I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go make some food, maybe take my meds. I gotta take my meds. I turned off my alarm for my meds because of this vlog. It was always going off right in the middle of it, and that's not good, right? So I need to take my meds, make some food, think about yarn, think about knitting, plan my advent projects. I'm not knitting any gifts for Christmas this year. If you're watching this and I give you Christmas gifts, it's not happening. I'm not knitting a single thing for gifts. I don't care. I don't want to knit socks. I don't want to knit hats. I don't want to knit anything for anybody else. I want to knit for myself. I want to be very selfish and knit all the things that I want to make, and just buy somebody some wool socks at REI or something. I don't know, but I don't want to. I don't want to make stuff for people this year. I just don't want to. And I think that there's nothing wrong with that. I think that if people anticipate getting socks from you every year because that's what you do, I think that you can gift them knitting lessons and they can knit their own socks. That's really mean. You know what I mean though? Like, it's not hard. Somebody could make their own socks if they wanted to, and it's okay to take a year off or your life off from making people gifts, because I just don't feel like it, and there wouldn't be any love behind the gifts. It would only be obligation, and I don't want anybody making me a gift out of obligation. So sorry guys, I'm gonna go. I will try to talk to you guys tomorrow if I feel like looking at myself, and yeah, I hope you guys have better luck looking for your Advent patterns than I am right now. I'm really struggling. I'm just gonna keep talking about Advent for a while. I want to do, like, you know what I really want to make, Advent or not? You know what I really want is like a onesie. I want something that goes from my, you know, neck to my wrists to my ankles so that I can just be warm. That's all I want in life. And there just aren't very many good patterns for that. And you'd have to like put in a zipper, because the ones that I have found have like little buttons all down the front, and you can't just sit there and unbutton and button every single time that you have to pee, okay? It's not gonna work. You have to, like, I mean, what if you really have to pee? Or like, you know what I mean? Like, bathroom emergencies happen and you don't have all damn day to sit there and unbutton everything. You need like a zipper. That's what I want. I don't know how to put a zipper in, but I could learn. So I thought about just making a cardigan and like attaching pants at the bottom so that you could just, but I don't know how to do that. And it's a lot of investment for me personally to experiment with that. So I thought about doing it though. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know. And I kind of want like some kind of poncho type thing that I can just like a shawl, but like with a hole in the middle, so I don't have to worry about styling it. I can just put it on, and it's really long, and I can wear it out places, and I won't be cold, or like sit on the couch and knit, but it's like on me. Kind of want that. Or like a hooded like cloak cape thing where I can just like put it on and pretend that I'm like a forest person, which I'm not. But I could pretend, and that's the joy of making your own clothes, right? You can just make clothes to pretend that you are the person that you're not. Okay, that's what I want this year, is something large and like something I can wear, not like a blanket, maybe a blanket shawl type thing. I just want to be warm and cozy, and I want to spend a lot of time knitting it. So anyway, I don't know. I've been looking and looking and looking and looking. I really don't want to do a sweater because, as we can see, I'm not great at finishing them. I have like 4 sweaters right now, fingering weight, that are all finished except for the sleeves, and I haven't worked on those at all. 5? I have 5 sweaters that don't have sleeves. And I don't want to. And so I think that I've learned about myself, Advent sweaters aren't a good idea. So maybe Advent leggings, Advent pants, I don't know. Anyway, okay, I've talked for an extra 3 minutes about Advents. I love them. I could go on all day. I will talk to you guys hopefully tomorrow. Okay, bye.